welcome all to another little string to the bow here on the channel of the Kitbash Foundry. I've often had things that I would like to have talked about, but have not been able to because it didn't really fit in with the idea of the channel being technically solely a Kitbash channel. But I thought to myself that what I was going to do is every so often when there's a topic that needs to be addressed or something needs talking about, then to do a little snippet video like this, then I'm going to go the Forge Fireside. So I'll sit round, tell tales, and maybe impart some information. So why is it taking me until now to come up with the idea for this video, or why to do this video now? It's because that as you grow older in years, you learn to understand that things get and people get taken away from you, or you lose influences in your life that really you want and should have celebrated more when they were around. And today, and for the last couple of days especially, there has been a great outpouring due to the unfortunate passing of John Blanche. Now, a couple of years ago, we did over here. We did a sort of little snippet video back under our old guys, which looked at and gave him thanks for his time at Games Workshop, just as he retired from that role officially due to the health issues that he was undergoing. But lucky enough, in those 2 years, that John has not rested on his laurels and probably been a bit more active in more genres of the game than he was ever allowed to be when he was at Games Workshop. And so, you know, there's a celebration of work that needs to be addressed. Now, I'm not here to run through any kind of biography or background. There's countless other channels that have done that. There's countless other interviews. If you want to see a good one, our friend Jordan over at Jordan Sorcery did one quite recently when he was talking to John about his new venture game On Guard. It's going to be coming out in the near future. And there's also the film In Search of the Grimdark that I must admit I chewed on to watch last night and have a look through after I'd heard the news of John's passing. I think what I want to do here for this video is just to probably make people aware who might not be just how influential John's work within the industry was. I mean, not only was he an artist in his own right, but he was also the chief art director for Games Workshop for countless years. So basically he's been, if not producing the work himself, has been in charge about the aesthetic that gets generated and put out to the public, that has really inspired and caused a lot of people's view of what fantasy worlds could be to be shaped and generated through the aesthetic, that the principle that he set down. A lot of people will talk about John being the father of Grimdark. I mean, and if you watch any videos on that, when he's interviewed and when that topic is brought up, he dismisses it slightly, thinking, well, the Grimdark thing was to make him sound as if he was the father of it, that it was saying that it was on purpose and not just a series of wonderful random events that basically gave rise to something that grew organically within the community and within the art direction itself. But that process spawned many games, and without those games and without the influence that comes from it, a lot of the games that we have around today would probably, well, it's not far to say, would not really have come to existence. I mean, without games that John was directly involved in, like Mordheim, like Inquisitor, we wouldn't have the 28mm movement that we have now. We wouldn't have certain games that float under that banner. We wouldn't have paint styles that talk about the grimdark paint style. So it's nice to be able to understand that maybe there is somebody who's responsible for that, and maybe we do owe him a great deal of thanks. So look as if maybe we could, through one of the painting competitions, maybe something that could be set up through someone like Army Painter, who were working with John on his paint sets towards the last few years, but an award that maybe would recognise stuff that's done more in the style of what John was pushing towards. So whether that's painting with a miniature conversion or even something like illustration maybe. And we end up with maybe trophies that we can nickname the Blanches or something like that. You know, it's just something that we could put out into the community there that will celebrate his ethos to the artistic aesthetic that he was driving for from all those years that he's been involved within the industry itself. Personally, I'd just like to say, I know it's a bit late now, but I'd like to say thank you, John, for being an inspiration to my hobby. There's been countless times where I've, taken inspiration from some of his paintings, some of his pictures, some of even the small sketches that appear in things like in the corner of the pages of the Mordheim book, or his Inquisitor sketchbook, for example, even down to the set of cards that he did for the Dark Millennium 40k release that a lot of people do Kitbash challenges around, which is, it's always great to see. So yeah, so thank you, and I'd like to also pass my best on to his wife Lil and his son Christian, and I hope that the down times that it is at the moment with John's passing is easily relieved when you see the amount of love and respect that's probably been pouring out on the various social medias, and I hope you do get to understand and read some of them and see just how influential John's work was. So I know it's a bit, probably based on a little bit of a downer, but hopefully when we come to do more of these episodes, we might be able to build in on a more uplifting topic or title. But I just think that, instances like this need to be addressed, need to not pass, not being talked about. So, thanks, John. You will be missed, but I'm very sure you won't be forgotten.